Come on. There we are. And we're live. I did that myself. I shot the aerial drone. No, I didn't. That's just stock imagery.
You flew by.
I flew by. That was me flying in a jet, which was nice.
Meta glasses.
It's hangover. I feel like it's hangover day. Because everybody, you get all excited on day one of CSM, and you can tell, like, it sounds like I had some gravel. I got some gravel in my voice. Lewis has been on the show before. Lewis, welcome back.
Pleasure.
Bright and early. I appreciate people who come here and they're like, I'm going to schedule 9 a.m. because I want to knock this out. Because there's 500 other things.
Yes.
How many CSMs is this for you? Ballpark. I don't know why I always ask that, but I'm always curious.
3, first one speaking.
Wow, good for you.
Thank you.
And then tell everybody what we're talking about.
So today I think we're going to talk about the importance of growing as a new grad before jumping into anything from a business sense. I think you've got to find your mentors, be a mentee, get your feet wet, and then learn the ropes before trying to learn different ropes.
Yeah. I mean, because in the first couple of years, it sounds like in the profession, you're studying a thing and doing a thing are two different things.
Totally.
So you're doing a new thing, and then business is also wild.
Yeah, totally. And obviously speaking firsthand, just opened up a practice, but that's a whole new learning curve in and of itself. And don't think that it could have been done without having felt established as a clinician first and foremost.
Yeah, that's it's hard to produce force when both feet are off the ground. So you got to be stable on one. Not to make it the metaphor, but like you have to be. Yeah. You can't be worrying about both.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I think I had a pretty strong clinical foundation coming right out of school. Did a fellowship with Kevin Wilk, and even then, the second I get to my initial practice, where it was somewhat of a volume-based clinic, there was multiple times where I'm spinning my head and thinking to myself, like, where is he? Can I ask him a question?
Right.
And that's not quite the case. And if you don't have that foundation already, and now you're trying to also understand insurance or payroll or cash or taxes or rent, and that check comes and it's not going away, and you gotta figure it out. So I think getting established first and foremost, and realizing that you got into this profession to be a professional first and foremost. So getting that grounded is first and foremost important, I think.
So our students, which I just heard on the loudspeaker, make up 3,000 really? People here at CSM, which I think that attendance was announced as 15. So students between 3,000 and 4,000. Are they being sold the wrong success narrative? Like, are they being directed in the wrong way?
I think to some extent, right? I mean, and maybe it's just my algorithm and my feed, but it's like, you're a doctor of physical therapy. You have every right to go out and make your own keep and be a business owner, and you don't need X, Y, and Z years experience, but that becomes all too different when someone's potentially coming in, I'm in a cash-based setting, and they're coming to me and paying out of pocket. They're not utilizing their insurance benefits, and they expect results. And if you don't know how to get those, and you haven't gotten your feet wet enough, and I think, we talk about the metaphor of 10,000 hours to become
an expert
or whatever it is. And if you don't have those 10,000 hours under your belt, how are you going to provide value for someone, especially when they're...
The only thing I was really worried about is like going on your own. Who are you going to do the looking around the room for?
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be the same person, but it should be someone who's maybe a few miles down the road, or at least just said, I've seen that before, or I've heard that before, I've done that before, I've failed that before.
Yeah, totally. And I get that question asked all the time of, from new grads. It's like, what should I take from this conference, or how do I go about like my clinical growth or development? And I think first and foremost is find the person that you resonate with, who you think has made those same mistakes, is in that same position that you want to be with, and then have the understanding of mentorship should not always be spoon-fed to you. You have to be a good mentee and understand that, a person providing mentorship, that's another job for them as well. So there's a right time and a place to kind of seek that mentorship, ask those questions, expect to receive answers from them as well, because, they have a life, they have a profession, they have goals as well. And now you're an additional part of that goal. So, don't just assume that it's always going to be there.
That I will give a little grace, because I was the same thing. Like when you're in 6th grade, the next grade you go to is 7th grade, and then there's 8th grade. You're like, there's always a thing for you. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden when you're done, it's like, well, then you go to college, and there's another step. Then you're in graduate school. And then that's beaten into you. That there's always a step. Where's the syllabus? And I'm like, my man, no, the syllabi have left the building. They have left the chat. And that's not easy to get used to when you've done, well, let's do the 12 years in, through high school, another 4, another 3. Mm-hmm. You're in close to 20 years worth of being led and fed. Correct. And that ain't how it happens anymore. You've got to now seek out
Yeah, there's no more yellow brick road.
Right. Yes, that's that would be a great title for a talk. The yellow brick road ends right here.
Meet the Oz himself. But it is that's a great point. And I think having your own goals, and that's kind of the importance of coming to conferences like this.
Yep.
And I think personally, even as a practicing clinician, I always try to have something separate on the docket to stay motivated, whether that's preparing for a conference or a small talk like this, or just something that's non-clinical focused, even if it's a personal goal, professional goal, in-clinic goal, but something to break the monotony per se and keep that path moving. Yeah.
Why is more not always better in rehab? Because some is good. None is bad.
Yeah.
More must be better. Why is that not actually?
No. I flip that model and I say better is better.
Yeah.
I treat young active adults and youth athletes, and more is more is more is more is more. I mean, the very first thing that I bought when I opened a clinic was a whiteboard. And we're going to break down what it is that you're doing today, tomorrow, this week, this month, this year for X, Y, and Z tournament. That's the next most important thing that we all know doesn't really matter all in all too much. So I always try to flip it as better is better. At certain points, more is better.
When it's appropriate.
When it's appropriate.
When more is needed, more is good.
Yeah. I think a lot of the time these individuals, they need to almost flip it off. They're so high stress driven, so motivated, at least the population I see. And half the conversation I'm having is let's tap into that parasympathetic. You need sleep, you need hydration, you need recovery, you need stress management. And then they want the next recovery modality
which you can find here.
Oh yeah,
because that'll fix me.
And I think those are all a part of rehab. I think modalities get a knock to some extent, but they're a great adjunct. They can be extremely beneficial as an adjunct.
Right.
You can't avoid the basic principles and your loading and your your formula to get back with some return, but at the end of the day, recovery is sleep, hydration, nutrition, stress management.
You brought up something I didn't know we were going to go in the direction. You're on Long Island.
Yeah.
I'm from New York, and now the time in 2026, youth sports is not these kids today. Was not me. I mean, the look on my parents' face if I said I'm going to go on a baseball tournament and it's 3 hours away, my parents would still be on the floor laughing. And now I got buddies who my buddy's kid is on a hockey team. I live in upstate New York. He's on a team in Boston. That's his home team. So Long Island is hockey, lacrosse, baseball. I mean, there's softball, everything.
Yeah.
How much of the education is that to the parent first, then the kid, which is, hey, listen, more playing is actually the reason you are here.
Yeah, totally. So my clinic is located within an indoor performance facility where teams rent out the turf space. There's a gym in the back, but it's a
24/7
of just kids coming in, and sometimes you don't see kids leave because they're there all day. And I try to explain to the parent and the kid is you have to be a kid first, you have to be an athlete second, play all the things, but don't overdo it, and then be a blank player. Because when they come in for me and it's like, oh, my leg hurts or my this hurts, it's like, well, what do you play? And they're like, baseball or soccer. And I'm like, okay, what else? They're like, no, dummy. Like, I'm that player. And I'm like, really? You're 12. Like, why don't we get good at being a child and then get good at moving, exploring, doing things, and then hone in on a sport itself. But parental education, I think, is the key. You got to tap into them because, I'm not quite a parent myself yet, but from a parent's perspective, they just want to do the best for their kid.
Sure.
And their friends are playing, they want them
good.
involved, and they want to, see them succeed, but to an extent, there's got to be a line. But
we know the funny part is, and I've actually read research, and I'll find the paper, which is research says that statement turns people's brain off. So when you're like, well, research says, people are just like you've just muted me for 28 seconds. But the research probably better than me. When you track Cy Young winners, Super Bowl quarterbacks, and you hey, what was your high school career? And they were like, oh, I played soccer and this and this and this. It's never, I was just a quarterback.
Never. The best athletes I see are the ones that have done it all because they're an athlete. They've had movement exposure. They've had the ability to adapt and explore and do. And then they hone in on a specific skill because they have an overall skill set that is.
Who's your talk for? Who are you excited when that person walks? Who are you hoping shows up and sits down?
Here or in my clinic?
In your clinic. Who are you excited for?
Oh, I mean, I love treating the young active individual, whether that's an adult who's still trying to, play with their friends on the weekends or with their kids or whatever it may be, or the youth athlete. But my passion is in shoulder, elbow, knee.
Yeah.
Seasonally, it varies what I'm going to get the most of. ACL, UCL. I try to say I treat the CLs and then labrums as well.
How funny is it that like 20 years ago, nobody knew it. Like the average person did not know what an ACL was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They knew Tommy John surgery,
Yeah.
but they didn't know what a UCL was.
Yeah.
And now parents, my friends' kids, like the coach said I should get an MRI, and I'm in the back just biting my lip, going, "Listen, I don't practice anymore." But I'm going, ask the coach what are the two things that could happen.
Yeah.
So it's injured, or it's torn, or it's not. What do we do then?
Yeah.
What if we just pretend like we're gonna get the MRI? It's gonna cost $1,000, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I've had the scarier situation of a physician even telling me that someone walked into the clinic and was like, "Yeah, we're ready for the surgery." He's like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, he's going to throw harder after, so we're ready for it." I'm like, "Excuse me." Well, he's going to throw harder because he's going to finally take rest and he's going to readapt to his entire body. He's going to train his legs. He's going to train his core. He's going to finally train his shoulder, get a good routine, and learn how to be an athlete that is required for that sport. But
what ruined it? Angels in the outfield. Henry Rowan Gardner, right?
Oh, yeah.
I still see that one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Man. How about talking here? Who are you excited to? Who do you want to walk into the room?
Well, we had a great turnout yesterday. It was awesome. It was myself, Kevin Wilk, and then two fellows after me from ASMI, Zach Thomas, who's now with Stedman Hawkins and part-time with the PGA, and Morgan Ivey, who is currently serving as the rehab coordinator for the St. Louis Cardinals. So a lot of them with better credentials than I have. I'm just a simple PT from Long Island, but those three have the credentials beyond me. We spoke about the integration of neurocognitive or neuromuscular rehab as it pertains to the upper extremity athlete. So a lot of literature out there pertaining to the lower. We know that with ACLs, you kind of have to provide these external cues, this visual feedback to sort of override the individual system, but same thing's starting to happen at the shoulder. And we just tried to take a framework from a clinical commentary that we wrote last year, giving ideas on how to put those principles in from early phase through return to sport as it pertains to the knee, and then just try to, reintegrate that same framework as someone can do it for the upper extremity, both shoulder and elbow too, because it goes overlooked.
One of the last things I'll ask.
Yeah.
The more people I talk to with resumes that are crazy, like professional, this, that, and everything, the more when I do this, tell me if I'm right or wrong. They talk about the simplest stuff.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, well, where's the crazy fancy? And they're like, yeah. So I almost feel like they get, like, they're the guys testing the fancy though.
Yeah.
Like the fancy comes out and they go, we're going to put it in the NFL. And they're like, okay, cool. But where's the basics?
Yeah. I think, and social media does a disservice. I think, if I put out what I do day to day in the clinic, I would have zero following, because it's fancy. It's simple hands-on range of motion. It's simple manual resistance exercise. It's your basic building blocks. And then at the end, if we have some time, we'll have some fun. We'll make it interactive. That way my patient stays engaged and keeps coming back to me for sure. And half the time it's them wanting to do those fancy, fun things. Sure. But I say boring, basic, better first, then more.
Spoonful of sugar, right? Hey man, when do we get to the cool?
The sprinkles
I was
top,
a PT. I had to make it had to be fun. But the whole time I was aiming at like, what's the reason they're here? Great. How do I make that what I need fun? But let's pretend you've got $1,000. What are you excited? We'll just call them toys.
Yeah.
Fun wise, what excites you? What do you already have in your clinic that you're like, that's the fun?
Oh yeah. I mean the reactive lights, the neurocognitive stuff. Blaze pods have been great. From a recovery perspective, hyper ice. I'm a big shockwave person as well. Laser. So those adjunct modalities are awesome. Obviously, those are on the higher end of the spectrum, but I think you need a set of blaze pods, especially
blaze pods for $500.
And then people get on you about the subscription. It's $10. Like, are you kidding me? Don't go to lunch that day. And you have it for a month.
It's $120 a year.
Right. And like you gotta be.
But it's not an ad for blaze pods. But what I realized was, it's because you get a library. Like whenever you see the Blaze Pod ads, you're like, that's cool. But how would I program that?
Done.
And then you find out people are just always users are like, oh, I did it like this. And then you can search by sport or whatever. So I was like, you're sort of buying the back end support. So the thing works real well.
Totally. Yeah, totally. And you could just search the activity, the age group, the this, that, and there's hundreds. And then just the ability to make what you want. If you can think it, you can make it. And then half the time you get your athletes who are like, oh, we did that. Can we do it this way? Can we make it harder? Can we do it this? And it just creates a competitive environment. Especially if you're treating athletes, you have to create a locker room setting
Yeah.
because
Yeah, they're used to it. Speak their language.
the first question I get asked the second we do it is, what's the high score and who has it? And the next time I see them, I'm going to talk about it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that at a low tech, the first clinic I was at out of school. It was a dry erase board with exercise or like a game of the week.
Yeah.
And then it was either time-based, rep-based. It was never weight-based. It was always time-based or rep-based to keep people involved. And then, you know, we had longevity. So it was like when you're discharged from PT,
Boom, baby.
it was, what do you come in? Do you want to keep going? Because, you know, we have that. And people will always come in. Their first peak was always, what's on the board? What's the worm? We just make things up.
Yeah.
And be like, now it's the worm. What's it doing? We're going to do this. Great. Make an exercise based on that. Is it distance or is it time?
Yeah. And I think reiterating back, I mean, it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to involve tech. It just has to involve creativity and an environment that allows for individuals to come in. The first thing your patient sees when they think rehab is, I'm hurt, I'm injured, I don't want to be here, I want to get out of here. And trying to flip that mindset of creating this longevity-based perspective helps keep them in the clinic. I mean, my favorite question I get asked from a patient is, do I have to stop coming?
Yeah, there you go. Because you've set up an environment.
Of course. I want to come back even when I'm back because I know I can continue to get better.
This seems like a weird question. What's the color of the walls on your clinic? Are they beige?
They are beige, but black accents.
That's the difference.
Okay.
Because we were talking about how
I know.
Pea green. Pea green was the classic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Pea green and children's magazines or Sports Illustrated from 6 years ago. That's what we look at when we walk.
Yes. Yeah, so my clinic has a lot of natural lighting, so I kept it beige but black accents, so it pops.
But you made it look like
a gym.
Yeah, like a gym.
Yeah.
You want to make it feel like that.
Yes,
all right, last thing we
100%.
do on the show, we call it the parting shot.
This is the parting shot. One last mic drop moment. No pressure, just your legacy on the line.
Our parting shot brought to you by US Physical Therapy. I'll say thanks because they're letting me use their booth. I was like, I need 6 square feet to talk and stand and a plug. Find them online at usph.com. Parting shot, just your last chance for a mic drop moment. What do you want to leave people with?
Yeah, I think the 3 major points we spoke on was better is better. If you're a student, find a mentor and understand what it takes to be a good mentee. And lastly, create an environment where your patients actually want to come to therapy.
And for the second one, most people in this profession are not looking to sell you a mentorship package.
No.
Most people are like, how can I help? And it doesn't have to be super structured or formal. And if you find people along the way, like this, one of our profession's weaknesses is we just give stuff away.
Yeah.
But like, if you're going to take some stuff, mentorship is one of those.
I still to this day seek out clinicians in my area and I go shadow them. I mean,
Smart,
2 weeks ago, I was at Lenny and Mike's clinic in Boston and fly on the wall. Hey, I'm just here to watch what you guys do and learn. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a full caseload and I just want to get better.
Yeah.
That's it.
Love to hear it. Lewis, appreciate
pleasure.
you stopping by, man.
Yes,
Thank you.
Of course.